Okay. I'm so excited to chat with you guys today. I am Lolita E. Walker. In case you are just meeting me today, I am a certified life leadership and executive coach. I'm a power speaker. I'm a TEDx speaker. I'm a podcaster. I am a poet. I'm an author. You name it, I'm doing it. But that's no different than a lot of folks that are here. And so, what I love to come to you all to do is to leave you with a half an hour of power. Now, I love to take you on a pictorial journey, and that's what we're going to do today. We have been doing that over the course of time. I think really for me, it's been 5 seasons for my podcast, Coaching Cocktails and Conversations, but years that I've been talking to many of you all. So I just want to welcome you all into the place and the space. I want to say hey to my Facebook group, Coaching Cocktails and Conversations, LinkedIn, YouTube, and of course, Breakfast with Champions. I'm so excited to have you all right here because we are with a live audience, and you can't get any better than that because all the juiciness and what it is that we're talking about, we get to hear and we get to replay over and over again. So I want to remind you to please leverage the power of your voice inside of this session right here. Today, we are going to be talking about intentionally charting a path that will go off course. Now, I know it sounds kind of funny to intentionally, deliberately chart this path when you already know that it's going to go off course. Why? Because I'm all about proper planning prevents poor performance. Okay. I'm all about the Be Free board, the Be Me board to get yourself to a Be Free place, your vision for where it is that you're going. But today, we are going to talk about intentionally charting a path that will go off course because I'm excited about charting this path that I know is going to go off course. I hope you are going to get there too. So I want to just welcome you to the party. I want to invite you to get your Coaching Cocktails and Conversations journal right out because this is a pictorial journey that I don't want you to miss. This is the type of soul work that I do with my coaching clients. So come on into the room. This is the type of interweaving of my speaking engagements when I do speaking engagements for power organizations. Many of you all work for it right now, or you hire me to come in for your own organizations. Nothing short of power because what you leave with is a little bit of coaching, cocktails, and conversations. So what is that? Coaching is all about leaving you with a couple nuggets to challenge your thinking. Okay. Cocktails is all about celebrating and giving yourself a cheers for the greatness that you bring to the table because you absolutely do. And in this power of soul work that we're going to do, I want to give you a cheers along the way because this one's really good, you guys. And then conversations is the juiciness with the live audience that we have, or those of you who choose to type in. And so what I see already, I want to say good morning to some Facebook users that are here. Hey, Soul. Hey, Jackie. I see you. There's a couple other people that I don't see the name, but I just want to say hey to that community right there. And then, of course, Dr. Stacy Luckett and Maria and Spencer are saying good morning right here on the Clubhouse app. So let's get to it because we only have a half an hour. Now, previously, I talked to you guys as though you were detectives in your own life. Detectives in your own life. Okay. We had clues that were happening. We had some people talking about what they saw. We challenged ourselves on what exactly do we see? Is it that thing that we're seeing, or should we look a little more strategically? And so, what I want to share with you all today is this notion of intentionally charting a path that will go off course. I know it sounds crazy. Hey, Pam, good morning from YouTube. It sounds crazy. We're going to intentionally do that because just like last week, when I heard you guys' comments about being this detective and how awesome it was and how you're still doing that soul work, I had some of you all even send me pictures of the soul work. I get so much energy from that, you guys. And so right now, what I want you to do is think about this notion of being a cartographer or photogrammetist. I know these are like, I didn't know what they were either. These are people who actually collect, measure, interpret, and then create this geographical information to create these maps and charts. Oh my gosh, I didn't know either, but we're going to really look at the cartographer. Okay. Sounds so cool. Well, so as I started looking into what they really do inside of this profession, I want to start our journey with right there. So I want you to imagine. I love imagining. So I want you to imagine for a second that you're standing at the edge of this landscape. Okay. You have a map inside of your hands, you have a compass around your neck, and then you see a clear view of the horizon. We always talk about clarity plus confidence equals commitment. But you have this clear view and you're standing at the edge of this vast landscape, okay? And you have your map in your hand and you have your compass, which is going to direct you navigationally, okay? Now, the work of this cartographer, right? This is the powerful metaphor that we're going to use because it's the navigation of our own lives, personally and professionally. And I know there's a lot of folks that say, we really shouldn't focus on this piece of our life and really charting it out or really thinking about the coaching aspect of this because it's really all about making money for our vitality, for us to continue to soar. Yes, it is. But if you're not grounded in who it is that you are, if you're not clear on where it is that you want to take your organization, if the folks that are around you are not in tune with how you are going to move and the expectations you have of them, you're going nowhere fast. And so I don't want you to ever think that this work, this soul work, whether it's for you, whether it's for your team, whether it's to enhance your organization, is not important work. This is the work that is going to ground who it is that you are and the expectations for those that are around you. This is important work, both personally and professionally. Don't ever forget that. That's why coaching is so powerful. That's why having somebody standing right beside you is so powerful. That's why having somebody challenge you differently is so impactful. This work is critical work in order to help you level up beyond where you are and then jump and leap to your endless possibilities. I guarantee you can ask any of my coaching clients or those that I've spoken or MC'd at, like, you grab this information, so you're going to do the work. Remember, I told you that it's about collecting information, measuring, interpreting, and creating. And so I want to take you through each of those. And if you're looking at me, then you can actually see it on my screen. And so collecting, just as these cartographers, remember I told you that's the profession. I'm so excited I learned that today. I didn't know that. They collect this geographical data. But we gather information in our lives. We gather information in our lives, this data from around us through our experiences, the books that we read, the people that we meet and are around, the skills that we acquire on our journey. So just as they're collecting this data, I want us to think about collecting the information from all of our sources that are around us that we have access to. So I want you to write the word collect, and then I want you to think about, what am I collecting on my journey? Remember, you are on this vast landscape and you're looking out into the horizon, and this is what you see. What information are you gathering in order to ensure that you can get to where you want to be? Now, the first thing that you're going to say is, yeah, Lolita, I can see that, but I got to first know where it is that I'm going. You're right. And so some people might say, you know what, Lolita, I really don't know where it is that I'm going. And so that's because we need to do other work on really recognizing what your strengths are, recognizing where your passions lay, recognizing what other people are telling you about your strengths. But I want you to imagine December 31st of the end of this year. What are you going to be celebrating? And I want you to take one of those things that you're going to be celebrating, and that, for purposes of this soul work right here, is going to be where it is that we're going, whether it's school, whether it's work, whether it's home, whether it's your business, whatever that is. I want you to put that at the horizon. And now we're talking about collecting. We're talking about collecting. So the question is, what are you collecting, just as the cartographer collects to gather information to help you on your journey? Again, as it's on my screen, is that this could also come through your experiences. What are you reading? Who's around you? What information, what resources are right there? This is the work that's going to lead us to shifting, to making sure that we are actually charting the plan that we know is actually going to go a little off kilter. Okay. Next, we want to measure. Why do we want to measure? Because measurement is all about assessing the value and the impact of the data that we just collected. We need to, now that we get all of that stuff in, now we got to measure it. Now we got to measure it, just like in this profession of charting your course or charting maps. So in life, it could mean reflecting on our experiences and then learning from them. It's about asking ourselves questions such as, what worked? All right, what didn't work along my path? It's about asking ourselves these challenging questions. What brought me joy? What caused me pain? What things do I have to shift a little bit from on my course? because I recognize how these experiences have shifted me or have made me feel. It's about measuring what it is that we've collected. Now, remember, we're talking about collecting, measuring, and now interpreting, and then we're going to create. Because the acronym I'm going to leave you all with is how to pace ourselves during this journey. Okay. But first, we got to get to the fundamentals. And so I want to take a minute and I want to just say, hey, Yolanda Christensen, hey, hearing from my soul first. I love it. Hey there. Hey, I see all of your comments on Facebook. I totally love it. Yes, coaching with integrity is powerful, someone says. And so I appreciate all of those things. Let's keep on going on our journey. We're going to interpreting next. I think that's where we were. Yes. So interpreting, what does this involve when you think about interpreting? It's about, remember that we're taking these steps. It's about, yep, I've collected my information. I got all of the things right there. It feels a little bit overwhelming. I got it. But now I'm measuring these things. I'm asking myself questions so that I can start to eliminate some of the things, because sometimes, you guys, and I know you feel this too, you get so much information. It feels like information overload. You got people telling you things, you got books telling you one thing, you just feel really, really overwhelmed. I get it. I was working with my son last night and he had 3 projects that we needed to really work on. And so we worked on him until he couldn't work on them anymore. But in the midst of it, we had to course correct because his frustration level got really high. And then my frustration met his frustration. And so we know before we get started that something's going to go awry right here. So what do? You talk about it in advance. You say, hey, I know this is going to happen. And what's going to happen when this happens right here? We already know it's coming because we've experienced it. So all of the information that you collect, yes, it can get overwhelming, but then we're going to measure so that we're going to measure and ask ourselves questions so that then we can eliminate some of the things that might get into our way. And now we're going to interpret. So what does it mean for this interpretation? Well, when you interpret stuff, think about it. You make sense of the data that's right there. You start to make sense of it all. You start to shift. You start to find patterns. You start to make some connections. You start to draw some conclusion. So what does this mean in the context of our lives, both personally and professionally? It's about finding meaning in what it is you're doing, finding meaning in your information, in your experiences, in your connections, in your relationship. What is the meaning? And don't forget that in our pictorial journey, we are standing at the edge of this vast landscape where we can see the horizon. We already know how we're going to navigate, and we are crafting this plan that we already know might go off kilter, but because we're doing this foundational work, we're going to be all set in order to make the change. We recognize that we're standing exactly where it is that we need to be standing inside of this very moment right here, because we've made these choices. Okay. So now we've collected, now we've measured, now we've interpreted, and now we're going to create. This final step that these cartographers do is that they use all of this data, is super cool, to then create these maps. So just like we did our own life map just now, you didn't even recognize you were doing that. Just as we are getting a foundation for our own life map, it's going to guide and interpret the data of our past experiences. Then it's going to take us to our present, and then it's going to help us to look further on that horizon right there. It charts our course for the future. That's exactly what it's doing. Remember, last week we talked about this blueprint for your life's mission. Now we're talking about how to chart the path, because it's a dynamic, evolving document. It's every document that you have, every experience, it's evolving, it's building on one another. Today, we're collecting, we're measuring, we're interpreting, and we're creating. So with our 15 minutes left, I'm going to try to power through this acronym, and then I want to open it up, because I imagine that there's some of you all here that is really thinking through this soul work and going to take it, because we're not here just for pleasure. We're here not only just to hear my voice, of course, but it's also because we want to do the work. It's because I'm leaving you with something tangible that not only you can listen to right here, but you can now add into it. That's the power of it. This is free for you. You're not even paying me. You're not paying to be inside of this space. And so what you want to do is you want to leverage all of what you can right here so that you can take the nuggets that you want, that's going to work for you, and then you can leave the rest at the bus stop. Absolutely. All right. So now this acronym of PACE, P-A-C-E, I want to share with you guys this acronym of PACE, PACE. So now we're taking all of this information that we had and we are going through and we're going to set our pace. I'm trying to go ahead and get back to, here you go, intentionally charting a path that will go off course. The notion of this is that you already know it's going to go off course somewhere. Like everything is dynamic. There's nothing that is staying the same except for the notion of change. Right? You are evolving. I am evolving. And so therefore, when we intentionally chart our path, we know it's going to go off course. I want you to start right there with the fundamentals. So we collect it, we measure it, we interpret it, we create it. And now it's this notion of setting pace. So this P I want to leave you with is the preparation. Remember, proper preparation prevents poor performance. And so this preparation is key. It's key. So just like our cartographers that we were talking about today, we're going to gather as much information that we can so that we can start our journey. This is the preparation of it. This is getting ourselves prepared. This is listening to Coaching Cocktails and Conversations, taking that information and deciding, how am I going to chart my path? This could be the knowledge we talked about, the skills, the resources, the people, the places, the things. You know, I'm always talking about these nouns in your life. Absolutely. This is the preparation phase that we're in. Then we're going to move on to the A, which is anticipate the unexpected. Anticipate it, right? That's the last part of what the topic is. You know it's going to go off course, so we anticipate that. We anticipate that this might go off track. And so as we start walking, we start exploring, then we start realizing that the path is not as straight as what we thought it was going to be. Think about it. The path is not as straight as what we thought it was going to be. So there's going to be hills that we're going to climb. There's going to be mountains that we got to trek over. There's going to be rivers that we got to cross. There's going to be forests that we got to navigate. Think about all that brush. Think about jumping over. Think about the bruises you're going to get in life. Think about the bruises you already have in life. Think about the notion that now I can see clearly, more clearly than where it is that I started. And therefore, I'm anticipating, I am expecting that there's going to be the unexpected. So therefore, I'm going to be flexible in this thing. I'm going to recognize that I have my horizon right in front of me. I'm clear because I've written what my goal is. I'm very clear on what that thing is. And now I'm charting my path to get there, but I know it's going to go off course. And so I'm setting my pace. I'm preparing myself. I am anticipating the unexpected. I'm changing my course and knowing that it is okay. I want to pause right there. I'm changing my course and knowing that change is okay along this course. We've been talking about it. So imagine on this journey, you find a fork in the road. I always come back to my first book. It's called The Intersection of You and Change. And when you look at the front of that book, all of you all who have that book, you look at the front of that book and you are literally at an intersection of you and change. You choose, what do I always say, to go left. You choose to go right. You choose to stay stagnant and complacent where it is that you are. You choose to move forward or you choose to go backward because you know what that is. In this, it's a choice. But where I'm suggesting that you go is forward. But sometimes you got to go ahead to the left. Sometimes you got to run through the forest. Sometimes you got to run up the hill. Sometimes you got to climb the mountain a little bit differently. Sometimes you got to reach out to your friend and be like, hey, I need something out of your backpack, because I'm running out of steam over here. I'm going to need a little bit of water, please. I'm going to need a rope, please. I would love it if you could reach back down and help me up. I'm starting my business. I'm hoping that you can help me. And this is what help looks like. It might not always be financial. I recognize that I didn't anticipate getting laid off. I didn't. A girlfriend just wrote me the other day, and she's a senior leader in her organization. And she said, oh my gosh, I just got laid off today. You can't ever expect that, but what you can do is anticipate the unexpected. Okay. Okay. You can be sad for a moment, and I can't believe that this happened, but recognize that you ain't the only one that ever got laid off in life. And so what we're going to do now is we are going to intentionally chart a path that we know is going to go off course. But in this moment right here, we are going to prepare for your next level of greatness. We are going to prepare in what I call a mini retirement. I took you guys through my mini retirement. We are going to talk about collecting all of the information. We're going to talk about measuring all of that stuff, right? We're going to talk about doing the work and creating and charting something that we know is going to have some hills and some valleys. Absolutely. And then the E is about embracing the journey. We're here for a limited time, you guys. And so I want to make sure that you all know that change is okay. We want to make sure that as we chart this and as we're looking forward into our horizon, that sometimes we need somebody beside of us. Sometimes we need a power player to come in and shake up the organization a little bit to say, hey, guess what? This is how I want to challenge you differently. This is how you can challenge your employees. This is how we can reshape and reform you into where it is that you want to go. And that's what certified coaching does. So I'm happy to reach out, you to reach out to me and let me know if you want to go on that journey with me. And I'm also happy to talk to you and your organizations, because there's power in knowing that failure is okay. There's power in knowing how we're going to work collectively in order to get through this journey. But first, it's an individual journey. All right. So I want to be able to open this up in a couple more minutes that we have. I see some comments on Facebook, and I love that some people said, let's see, expect obstacles, Lord, expect obstacles. And at that point, now think, oh, you guys are going so fast. Hold on. And now think about you are going to move forward. Absolutely. Now think about how you're going to move forward. The layoff could be another open door. Come on. Another open door, a window, a side door, and all of the things. Absolutely. I love the amen, amen, amen. And you have to be okay, because you have to expect that you're going to be okay. I love that. All right, let's open it up. Does anybody on Clubhouse have anything that they want to add to the convo before I keep going?
Lolita, this is Dr. Stacy Luckett.
Hey, Dr. Stacy Luckett.
Hey, and hi, everyone else. As I was sitting here thinking about that, I immediately was thinking about myself, and then I started thinking about this class that I have to teach today. And this is definitely going to be an assignment, because there are what we do as teachers, we do collect information. We have to collect information and disseminate this information to better serve our students. But I want my students to see themselves in other professions, and I think I put it like this cartographer, and I thank you for that, because it has taken me from just thinking about myself and the role I play in the comparisons, that is, to just even thinking about how does this functionally for me. And thank you for this, because my mind is really turning on what we're going to do in the discussions that we're going to have about this very topic today. So thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. And thank you for leveraging the power of your voice. I absolutely love it. I am writing in the chat what the PACE is. Thank you for that question right there. So the P is about preparation is key. Preparation is key. The A was about anticipating and expecting the unexpected, because we know that it's coming. The C, which was the question, is about changing course is okay. I'll type that in a second when I can get back to it. But changing course is absolutely okay. And then that E, don't forget, is about embracing the overall journey of it all. Okay. That's what we want to do. Okay. That's what we want to do. We want to pace ourselves in this journey like the cartographer. We want to pace ourselves as we collect, as we measure, as we interpret, and that we create. Is there anybody else that wanted to add anything?
Lolita, this is Coach Pamsky.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. I'm watching you on YouTube and here. So when I absolutely love what you're doing here. And for me, it took me a while to be able to do the pivoting. Like when things would come up that were unexpected, there was a time where I would just have a hissy fit, pretty much like a 2-year-old, throw myself on the ground and, just get all upset about things. And I began to realize that doesn't really help you out. And so when I began to learn exactly what you said, be able to expect things to happen that we don't expect, and what are we going to do about it? We can lay on the floor and cry about it and give up, or we can pivot to the left or to the right. And what I have found is that sometimes there are golden nuggets and beautiful treasures when you pivot. And so I'm so grateful that I've learned to be able to do that. One, because it helps me stay more calm. It helps me be able to achieve those goals that I have. And it helps other people because they're watching. So thank you so much, Lolita. I love this.
Oh, good. I'm so excited. Yes. And Jolanta just said pace to create. Oh my gosh. I love that. Pace to create. Set your pace, you all, so that you can collect, measure, interpret, and create. Absolutely. This notion of being a cartographer is magical. I love it. Was there somebody else trying to say something? Okay.
Hey, Lolita. Good morning, Tracy here.
Hey, Tracy.
You are give us.
Thank you, Tracy.
Yes, ma'am. So the A resonated with me. Anticipate the unexpected. Lolita, I was laid off back in 2019, and I thought it was just the worst thing ever, the worst timing ever. But you know what? It was a blessing in disguise. And you know how they say a setback is a setup to come back?
Absolutely.
And that's exactly what happened with me, and I could not be happier, you know. So I didn't anticipate it, but it was the best thing ever, and I'm living my best life as a result of it. So thank you so much, Lolita E. Walker.
I love that. And you know, here's the thing, as you said that. So I remember in my TEDx talk that I did in 2019, I remember saying that the best 3 words, the 3 words that shifted my life was no thank you. And I remember being offered a position, and I remember the words coming out of my mouth being no thank you. And in that moment, I hadn't thought about those words, but I knew how I felt inside. I had thought about restructuring that was happening at the company. I thought about the fact that another company was coming in, we were being divested, and they were acquiring us. I thought about looking at their values and how it resonated with me. I didn't know I was going to be asked the question, but then when I was asked the question, it was an easy no thank you. And I talk about that, how those 3 individual words, those tiny little words, changed my life forever. I don't know about if I would be an author today, a 4-time author today, working on books 5 and 6. I don't know that I would have done a TEDx talk. I don't know that I would be in this new place. I don't know. We could do all of the things. I don't know. But what I do know is that change is going to happen, and we will intentionally chart a path that will go off course. And knowing that is half the battle. So I want to just say thank you to every single person who was here. Those of you who written in, Lord, thank you for editing, who have written in and let me know all the things. I thank you for hiring me to come into your organizations. Listen, I'm open right now. I'm taking bookings for the remainder of this year. So let's do it. Let's do it. You could write to me at change@lolitawalker.com, lolitawalker.com. You could go to, and then you can write to me at Hey Coach Walker on Instagram. And I love that a Facebook user, as I close out, said, I loved your TEDx. It inspired me. So continue to do, and continues to do so. And then the next person said, I heard a preacher say no is an anointed word. Come on, somebody. All right, you guys, thank you so much. And I'm so excited that you were here with me. Don't forget to come on back, subscribe to all of the places.